Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, police investigate a double murder in Fox Hill late Sunday night. But first,
one local pastor calls for the government to implement capital punishment after one of his ministers was shot dead at Scotiabank Sunday morning. Detailed straight ahead.
The opposition leader says crime is out of control. That story straight ahead.
A local gaming house gets international recognition. Welcome to our news. I'm Christina McNeil. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight after the tragic murder of Minister Ivan Cleare, who was shot dead at the Scotiabank ATM on Jerome Avenue during what police suspect was a robbery Sunday morning. Minister for National Security, Dr. Bernard Nottage, is addressing the level of crime in the country. This as the victim's family pastor is calling for capital punishment. Simone Davis reports.
Amid mounting concerns over the level of violent crime in the country, Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage described Sunday's double murder in Fox Hill and the shooting death of a father of three as very unusual and insisted that crime is down.
I think that we have been making some progress. Yesterday was a most unusual day, having regard to what's been happening during this year. And so we've got to have a look at what really went on yesterday that caused this spread in crime. So we're not pleased about it, but overall there has been an improvement for the year.
When asked about the travel warning recently issued by the Canadian government to its citizens about high crime levels in the Bahamas, Nottage asserted that Canada also has its challenges with crime.
As far as the Canadian government and others who are issuing warnings, I think that it is clear, if you look at what's happening all around the world, that crimes are up. Crimes are up in Canada itself.
The National Security Minister's comments came one day after the murder of 61-year-old Ivan Cleare, who was shot dead at the Scotiabank ATM on Jerome Avenue. The Cleare family's pastor, Everett Brown of New Bethlehem Baptist Church, says it proves that no one is safe. He described the incident as sickening.
If he was sick and died, that's different. But he was full of life, and to be short for something that belongs to you is sickening. It's sickening.
Pastor Brown said the news of Claire's death came during a Sunday morning service and left the entire congregation in shock. Pastor Brown says the crime level in this country has left him nothing short of heartbroken.
And so if you take a life, your life should be taken away. And that's my views on that. And I'm still safe. I'm still Holy Ghost filled. I'm still water baptized. I'm still the pastor to New Bethlehem Baptist Church.
Our news reached out to Claire's family members who declined to comment at this time. Reporting for our news, I'm Simone Davis.
Thanks, Simone. Well, 13 hours after Cleare, a father of three was gunned down at a Scotiabank ATM. Two men were shot dead on Adderley Street in Fox Hill. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean provided these details on the scene.
Shortly after 9, police were summoned to this area as a result of gunshots being heard. When officers arrived in the area, they found the lifeless body of two males who were shot. Police do not have a motive for this incident as yet. We are actively investigating this matter.
Last night's double murder brought the country's murder count for the year to 56. Dean says police are questioning a person of interest in connection with this matter.
We must be able to catch these killers. This is another senseless murder. We believe that we have the capability of solving the murder, but we cannot do it without the public's help. So we really need the public's help in solving this murder. We do have a person of interest in custody who we are questioning in connection with this matter.
Well, Fox Hill MP Fred Mitchell today issued a statement on the latest killings at Adderley Street, noting that efforts must be redoubled to stop the mindless violence and greed he says threaten to sap the national will and weaken the nation's moral fiber. Well, opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis also weighing in on the nation's crime problem. He says Bahamians are afraid and the government needs to do more. Dana Smith has that angle.
Minnis said it's clear this administration can't get a grip on crime, and branding the island of New Providence a prison, he said many Bahamians are too afraid to leave their own homes. Minnis said this PLP government promised to eradicate crime, but this past Sunday is just another example that crime is getting worse. He said Bahamians are literally dying in the streets while the government fails at every turn.
Crime is out of control. It is quite evident that the Christie-led government cannot control crime. Murder especially.
Minnis said it seems Prime Minister Perry Christie's words have come back to haunt him, as far too many residents are living in fear.
It is frightening now to leave your home. Once ago you can go and relax on the beaches, you can go to the movie, you can go to a restaurant. Now you cannot do all these things anymore.
Minnis said National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage is confused and taking blows left, right, and center. Meanwhile, New Providence residents feel just as trapped as those behind the walls of Fox Hill Prison.
The island of New Providence has become like a prison itself.
Minnis said the Christie administration continues to ignore the big elephant in the room, only concentrating on what Minnis said is a capture, retain, and release method, rather than addressing the root causes of crime, like poverty, corruption, and unemployment. The opposition leader said a Minnis-led government would address these issues and also introduce more inclusive, multi-purpose after-school programs.
And we must move away from these Mickey Mouse centers. We're talking about after-school programs and daycare center and family. Yeah, please, let's do this thing serious.
The opposition leader said building a new prison facility is also something he'd look at, charging that rather than be rehabilitated, convicts often come out more hardened than before.
They are truly trained at the prison. They're going to university or prison. It's the University of Fox Hill, whatever they want to call it.
Minnis added, Christie's recent budget communication only proved this government is either ill-equipped or not serious about launching a plan to root out crime. Reporting for Our News, I'm Dana Smith.